live from an 11-year-old girl's bedroom with a no boys allowed sign hanging on the door. It's Business Pants. I'm back. Hi.
Woohoo!
Joined as always by Ari the Dated Queen and no one else who's usually here, so why is it even worth mentioning them? I am Emma Lurking, and welcome to No Boys Allowed Monday. Yay!
Hello, Emma. So happy
Hi,
you're back.
Ari and I have been like ships in the night. Ari was vacationing and I was ill. I wonder who
this is
won.
our first time
Thank you.
together in a long time.
This is also our inaugural and unintentional first show where it's just Ari and I. We've never
where
done
are
this
the
before.
adults?
Where
I feel like
are
we
the
need
adults?
adult supervision here.
Well, that's funny because in my mind, you really aren't in the adult category, despite the fact that like you're married,
Correct.
which is extremely adult. But like, no, not compared to Damien and Matt. Their level of adulthood scares me.
I think you need to get a certain jadedness. Jaded.
Oh, I think that's the one part of being an adult that I actually have. I think it's like the responsibility and the motivation portions of adulthood that I struggle with more. All right. Now that we're done psychoanalyzing whether or not Ari and I are adults, let's get into it. We are going to start off with Crack the Crypto. I went through the headlines this morning, and my reasoning for delving into this subject matter is because I sort of didn't have a choice. All of the headlines were crypto. So many of them, and I have never been so confused because I obviously do not understand crypto. So I rounded up what I found to be the most decipherable of all of the insane crypto headlines. And as the queen of blockchain, while I have you here, I'm going to make Ari tell me what she thinks is going on. And after Ari gives her best explanation of the headline, without context, I'm not giving Ari any context, she just has to hear the headline, tell me what she thinks is going on. I'll tell her how close she actually is, but I'm not actually smart, I'm just reading. Keep that in mind. So, with no further ado, Ari, are you ready?
I'm ready, and I have not read any crypto news. I haven't read any news lately, so this is going to be fun.
Excellent. That's what I wanted. Okay, number one. Elon Musk pumps Dogecoin amid lawsuit.
Okay, so we covered last week that people were suing him because he was supposedly playing with it. Mm-hmm. Just like he has been accused of, trying to manipulate, is it Tesla stock, I think, in the past?
Yes. Yep.
So I'm going to say that he now wants out of Dogecoin. But wait, pumps and dumps. Oh, wait, he's buying a lot?
So, yeah, if you're pumping and dumping, I believe that what it is that you buy a lot and then you advertise it a lot, and then once people buy and the price goes up, then you drop it all of a sudden because it was just a get-rich-quick scheme. That's my understanding.
Is he now trying to buy a lot? Well, actually, no, because he's in a lawsuit. I don't know. I have no idea, Emma. What is going on with Elon Musk?
Okay, so both Tesla and SpaceX are involved in a class action lawsuit against Tesla, SpaceX, and Elon for manipulating the price of Dogecoin. So it's the two companies and Musk who've been named as the defendants, and the complaint is seeking $86 billion in compensatory damages, which is, I don't know, that is the largest sum of money I've ever seen in a lawsuit. I don't know about you.
If that is how much these people lost, that's crazy.
I don't actually know how much people lost, but I think that I can imagine that amount of money is wrapped up in crypto. One, the fact that a single coin, like it's just Dogecoin, and it's $86 billion is confusing to me. But then again, I don't really have a great understanding of the financials of crypto, so this is all mind-boggling to me.
Well, the fact that he can truly advertise it like that and have no consequences, that needs to change.
Yes, absolutely.
That's not his fault.
Yeah. So he has been an influential advocate of Dogecoin, according to Yahoo Finance, since 2019. And everyone has seen his tweets about it. Everyone's seen the Shiba Inu. Like, it's definitely a Muskian thing. But it is interesting that he is deciding to do this as he's getting sued. like, I just cannot imagine a worse move. His lawyers must absolutely despise him. I think
All
that's
right.
it on that one.
What
All
else
right.
you got?
Number 2. Big crypto companies invest in small ones. What happens in a crisis? This I'm interested in your thoughts on, aside from you seeing how much you
The
know.
crisis being the crisis, the recession, the cloud recession that hangs in right now.
That and
Everyone's
the crypto
saying we're
crash.
in a regression. Yeah, the crypto crash.
The
Okay.
crypto crash too. Yeah.
I would think that big crypto companies are actually going to stop investing in small ones for right now because since they're big, they have all these other costs and they need cash. I don't know. I think that's gonna stop, but it doesn't mean that I don't think crypto is gonna disappear. I don't think it's going away. Even with the whole crash, it'll come back up. But yeah, they'll probably stop investing in small ones for right now.
Yeah, I think you basically got it dead on. Basically, what this article is saying is that during the crypto crash, it's a problem for all of these bigger crypto companies because they want to proliferate it. Like, it's a currency, so they need to proliferate it. And one of the only ways to do that is to have a lot of them doing kind of the same thing and innovating and whatever. But when it crashes, it becomes a huge problem because it's an extremely, like, unstable medium and people don't know exactly what to do. And when you're only investing in other crypto things, they all can fall victim to the same problems, is my sense anyway.
Yep.
Right. So,
but they're not going away. They're not going away.
You don't think so?
I don't think so. Even the small ones. Like, it might be a rough patch for the small ones, but they're still going to be out there. Because, how did this start? It was just a bunch of dudes being like, let's make this thing. I don't think that's going to stop.
To quote you, dudes do like to do stuff and they like to get paid for it and be told that they're brilliant all the time. So you're right. I think that if anything, their ego will keep them in it for sure.
Right. And if anything, this dip, it's like, oh my God, more crypto so that when it goes back up, we become rich. This is like
such a good point.
Crypto 3.0, generation of get rich quick.
And this is you saying this, and you have like some affection for blockchain in some capacity, and I don't.
Yeah.
All right.
Well,
number 3. They lost thousands of dollars to scammers on LinkedIn. The platform is fighting back.
Fighting back? Okay, so I assume this is one of those, I get those messages like, buy my Bitcoin, super cheap or whatever. And obviously I just delete those. So I assume that people have been sending money to people that send them random messages.
Absolutely.
The whole thing about social media and social media platforms, why can't they get it together and just limit the spam, limit the bots? I don't understand.
Because it's lucrative. I think like that is one of the most lucrative parts of their businesses, and that's not something they publicly want to admit because it's a gross way to make money, but they do make money off of it. You're absolutely right. And LinkedIn has become the most recent target of these scammers, and people have stories of being scammed out of like $288,000, and it was like her whole life $288,000 is a person's whole life savings, and she lost it. And then when she tried to contact the person who had talked her into it or like advertised it to her or whatever, couldn't find him anywhere, as goes along with the scheme.
Also, what the heck are people doing just handing over money? Like, I don't understand any of it. I blame everyone.
Right. And so LinkedIn, of course, the scammers are to blame, but LinkedIn is also someone who like clearly needs to take accountability, and they have acknowledged the problem and said, over the last few months, we've seen a rise in fraudulent activity happening across the internet, including here on LinkedIn. And he noted that the company uses AI to identify fraudulent behavior in accounts, and they gave all of these numbers. So like 96% of detected fake accounts and 99.1% of spam and scams are caught and removed by our automated defenses. But then his name is Rodriguez. It was the person that they were quoting in the article from LinkedIn. he was basically giving people advice as to how to not get scammed. So, for example, people asking you for money who you don't know in person, like ignore. Job postings that sound too good to be true, or romantic messages or gestures that are associated with. He was basically telling the people getting scammed to like watch out. It's like telling women to like watch out for men. Yeah. Even though we really, that messaging is, women know we're in danger. I know I'm in danger. I don't really need to be told. I need someone else to not be putting me in danger, And it
LinkedIn
sounds like,
has been around for so long. Like, how do they not, how do they not already have this down?
Yeah. And
what are they doing with their money?
God knows. Maybe Matt or Damien could tell you. I certainly cannot. And I really don't appreciate being told, like, the bare bones basics of how to avoid getting scammed. Like, that's not the problem. Okay, that was depressing. Thank you, myself, for doing that to us. All right, moving on. We have some Matt and Damien nuggets. So, here's the situation. Ari and I, no longer Ari and I, we're going to be Matt and Damien instead for this segment. I'm going to read off some headlines, and I think that some of them would get some stronger reactions from Matt and Damien. I tried to curate them as such.
All right.
And Ari and I are going to react as Matt and Damien instead of ourselves. Ari gets to choose, though. Do you want to be Matt or do you want to be Damien?
I'm going to try to channel my inner Damien.
Okay, great.
Just because I don't do that enough.
I think circling back to our jaded conversation, I think that, I... That was really good, actually. Oh my God. Thank you, Ari. Okay, yeah. So I'm feeling the jaded energy our conversation earlier, and that's Matt to a T. So I'm excited about this. Okay. I'm going to give, if you want context, you can ask for it.
All right.
That's different rules for this one. All right. Number one. So Ari is Damien. I am Matt. Number one. Apple Store workers vote to form first U.S. union.
Come on, Damien would be excited about this.
Damien would be excited about that.
This is the first time they've actually had a vote, right?
Yeah,
Apple?
yeah.
I think they've tried to. Yeah. Okay. Wow. This is, great progression. This is the time. Oh wow. No, I can't. This is really hard.
No, he would just be excited about it. I think that your first instinct was dead on. I think he'd be like,
excitement.
This is great. This is awesome. Like, what is there not to like about this?
Yeah.
He'd want us to get excited about it, and he'd already be upset about me and Matt reacting negatively.
Maybe he might be thinking already, who's next? Yeah.
On the Matt end of things, I'm going to go with a simple but effective just total negation of the positive attributes of this headline by incorporating but what about all of the enslaved labor in factories they used? Like geniuses at the Apple Store already probably are pretty well paid and have good benefits. Like, Matt's not going to be impressed until he sees factory workers getting in on
Matt would never use the term enslaved. Come on, not even on Juneteenth. Just kidding.
I know. It's so
but
true.
You know what? I think the biggest lie is making people whose jobs are, above your national average. Like, people who are supposedly better off, well off. I think the biggest scam is making them believe that they don't need a union.
Totally.
Being like, the union is for them. The union is for the low-paid workers. Like, we don't need one.
No.
And the fact that...
Yeah.
And the fact that, like, these workers are not, your McDonald's workers that probably make way less money is awesome. Because...
Absolutely.
Higher up, they're organizing, and I think that's great.
Oh, yeah. But Matt would be negative about it, and you know it.
Yeah.
And then we'd have to yell at him for exactly what you just said. Okay, I think that was an excellent start. Moving on. Number 2. Starbucks executive exits after sparring with union organizers. Matt, I'm going to start off because Matt would just not be impressed with this headline, I don't think. I think that you, Damien, and I would be extremely excited about it. Yeah. And Matt would be like, yeah, they're just going to hire some Howard Schultzian executive in her place. And it was a woman, by the way. That's the one piece of context I'll give you. Yeah.
Well, of course it was a woman. They would fire the woman, would say Matt. Oops, I'm playing the wrong person. I think Damien would just be happy that this person, regardless, got fired. And he would wonder, is she taking the Holocaust blankets with her on her way out?
Yeah. The Holocaust blankets would absolutely get brought up. There's no question in my mind. They love the Holocaust blanket bit. I've honestly never been that attached to it. I feel like there's whatever. They just really like the Holocaust blanket bit. But yeah, I think you're absolutely right. Damien would be excited about it. Matt would be like, who cares? It's just
so how many people have left so far since the whole union debacle happened?
So I think that the fact that the CEO stepped down, I'm not sure that anyone else would include this in their calculation, but I sort of do. I have to say that I think that the CEO stepping down had something to do with it. So I think that like Howard Schultz, of course, because Howard Schultz is always the, oh my God, we're having a labor problem. Let's have Howard Schultz be CEO for a couple of years, you know? But I think that that's included. But I think that in terms of upper management, I think that maybe one board member has left and like one other executive. That's kind of it. I think people are mostly sticking around.
Nice. Well, we'll see what happens so far.
Truly. All right. Number 3. Elon Musk says he doesn't really care about being CEO of Twitter or his title, but people do need to listen to me.
Oh, of course he would say that. The arrogance of not wanting a title, but just wanting people to listen to him as if he were a dictator.
Interesting. I was actually, Matt was going to take it the other way. And Matt was going to say something along the lines of like, he's a liar. He does want to be CEO. Like, that's just not true. He absolutely cares about the title of being a CEO because he likes to be in charge. But I think combining those two reactions is probably somewhere, like the correct take lies in there somewhere, because people don't listen to you unless you have a title necessarily, you know, and that's sort of how corporate governance is supposed to work. Like, you have the title, you're in charge of XYZ, you know? Yeah. So he wants to be listened to. So he's gonna be, he like has to be an executive, you know, unless he's a shareholder, which he is. So he's gonna have control anyway.
Right. He's already got power. I feel like people are gonna listen. He's gonna make people listen to him. He doesn't care. I honestly believe that part. He doesn't care about that. He's just gonna make people listen to him, and that's it.
Yeah. I think that the other thing that Damien and Matt would probably say is that people do listen to him. Like, what is he talking about? So many people. He is one of the most listened to people in the tech space at the moment, whether it be on Twitter, whether it be about electric cars. Like, he just is someone with that, cult of personality situation.
When he held the Twitter town hall, all hands, whatever meeting it was with employees from Twitter, there was a lot of like, this man does not understand like what we're trying to do type of thing. So I think within Twitter, like, I think respect is not a thing that he will automatically have at Twitter. Exactly. At Tesla, people may think he's God or whatever, right? Same for SpaceX, but Twitter, I don't think so.
Yeah, I'm going to be interested to see how his leadership goes over or doesn't go over, because I think you're right. You've definitely just convinced me, because I think that he does, he said, one of the quotes that he said in a different article I saw today was about how the reason he loves Twitter is that he can directly connect with people. And so Ari left. Ari got booted. That is such a shame. I am going to vamp until Ari comes back, which is going to be very interesting, because usually we have 3 people. So when one gets booted, we can still chat and say stuff to each other. And it looks like both of us are struggling right now. That is really interesting. I'm messaging her right now. This is really funny. I hope that someone is watching this live. Hi to whoever's watching this live, and the live will be posted on the internet. Oh, she's back. Oh, there she is. Hello.
Hi.
All right. So, you missed me really talk to myself while you were gone. That I really am nervous to listen to this back and see what I said because I feel like I blacked out for a second. But moving right along.
All right. Hit me.
Okay. No, I can't even remember what we were talking about now. So, number 4.
Next one.
Ray Dalio, Bill Gates, and Jack Dorsey started their careers before turning 15. Now they're all billionaires. I'm struggling to untangle my opinion from Matt's opinion in this moment because I know what my opinion, like the second I read this headline, I had a very strong take. So I'm going to try to incorporate it in Matt's voice. Ready? Okay.
All right.
What a waste of a childhood. Like to be 50, like you're still a child when you're 15. You're still a child until you're 18. Arguably, you're still a child until you're 24, which is the age that Emma is. Look at how stupid and small and young she is. That's Matt making fun of me being young. And it's not worth it. Wasting your childhood to become a billionaire is absolutely not worth it. Like that was the worst trade-off of all time. I think that's Matt's take.
I think Damien would have conflicted feelings here because he loves Jack Dorsey, but
He does.
really dislikes billionaires. He doesn't
Really
think that
dislikes
anyone
billionaires.
should be a billionaire.
Really, really dislikes billionaires.
Really dislikes billionaires. However, maybe it was a good day for him today, and he would say that that these people at 15, they did not focus on making money. They focused on creating an idea.
Whoa.
Creating a thing. They followed an idea.
Maybe that would be the nicest thing that Damien ever said about billionaires. Hands down. Hands down.
And they should give all their money away.
Absolutely.
Right now. What are you doing? Give it away.
Seconded.
Give it away.
Okay. And finally, our final segment of our No Boys Allowed Monday Business Pants show is the slime ball quiz.
Slime ball?
The slime ball quiz. I pulled 3 headlines of things done by 3 very slime ball-y people saying and doing slime ball-y stuff. And then this is going to be like a quiz. Like you actually have to guess the answer after I read you the headline. Ready?
All right.
Number 1. Tucker Carlson accuses Stephen Colbert crew of insurrection after they were arrested while filming a comedy segment at the Capitol. Your question is this. What did Tucker Carlson say on the year anniversary of the actual insurrection?
Oh my God.
1. Not a lot happened on that day if you think about it. 2. It was an act done by well-intentioned Americans who couldn't execute properly. Or 3. We're lucky to have civilians this engaged in their democracy. Which do you think it is?
Wow. The fact that all of them would be terrible for him to say, and I would believe that he said any of those things. Also,
Yeah.
I think it's really funny that it's not funny for them, but when I saw that they got arrested, I was like, I hope they kept filming the whole time.
Me too.
I'm going to go with number 1. Really not a lot happened that day if you think about it.
Correct.
Did I get it?
You did. You absolutely did. It was really not a lot happened that day if you think about it. And he said a whole bunch of other stuff too, but like that was the quote that I just was absolutely could not believe came out of his
and disclaimer, I do not watch his show. So it was a total guess.
Tucker Carlson? Ari,
Yeah,
I would
I don't watch
imagine that you didn't watch
Right.
Tucker Carlson.
because I got it right. I felt the need to say.
I actually do. I have watched Tucker Carlson's show.
Just to be upset?
Yeah, my professor in college made me do it.
For research reasons.
Yeah, I took a class on politics and media, and they made us all listen to either Tucker Carlson, I think, oh God, who was the one on the radio? That was awful. Rush Limbaugh, yup. And like one of the other, I think maybe, one of the women, one of the blonde women.
Megyn Kelly.
Megyn Kelly, something. So I actually have watched Tucker Carlson's show, and everyone showed up to class super upset the next day. Because everyone was like, why would you do that? Why would you make us watch? We were all like yelling at my professors and they were like, oh, sorry.
Now you know.
Now you know. All right. After that weird tangent. Number 2. Montana governor vacationed in Italy, Italy, while Yellowstone faced catastrophic flooding that caused $29 million in damage. What was his name is Governor Greg Gianforte. What was he convicted of in 2017? A DUI, assault, or fraud?
Oh, whoa. Okay, and he's still governor? All right.
Yeah. He's only been governor since 2021.
What? Okay, I'm gonna
He was
say
he was a rep before that from 2017 on.
a DUI. Is it right?
Unfortunately,
Oh, damn.
nope. It was assault.
Wow.
He body slammed a reporter and broke his glasses. And he got convicted and he had to go to anger management classes and I think pay a fine. Yeah.
Wow.
That's this man.
Okay.
And then a side note that I could not figure out how to sum up in one like nicely packaged question, but I was really important information for me to share is that Gianforte is a big hunter. He, Montana makes sense.
Yeah.
And one time he served his guests, so I think he took his company public. That's the other thing is that Governor Gianforte is a 100-millionaire. He took his company public. He's a tech CEO, et cetera, et cetera. And I think he had Scottish and bankers, I think, involved with taking his company public or something. And he served them dinner. And the dinner he served them was mountain lion teriyaki, antelope chops wrapped in bacon, and elk tenderloin. And he was fined $70. This is the fine for this, by the way. $70 for violating Montana Fish and Wildlife Commission rules by killing an elk. Like, you're not allowed to kill an elk in Montana.
Oh my God.
That is, and this fine is $70.
Yeah, I was about
What
to
kind
say
of a fine is that?
$70. He was like, that's the cheapest dinner I could serve.
If you sold the elk, you would like make that back easy. It's just the worst incentive ever. He also violated these rules that was before he was governor, but while he was governor, he also violated these rules by killing a wolf that the Park Service was tracking. Like, that's the other thing is that so many of these animals are being tracked by people, so they know. So he's just doing it with impunity.
I don't understand. And these people still elected him, like, after getting convicted of assault?
Absolutely.
Doesn't make any sense.
Absolutely.
I hope he cut his vacation short. Just like,
Nope. Still there. Just taking his vacation, I think. I've seen no updates or moves for him to head back to Montana. That doesn't seem to be something he's interested in.
He's taking a page out of Ted Cruz's book here.
The only unfortunate, exactly, and I was thinking the same thing, but unfortunately, I think that this was like a planned vacation for a long time. That being said, when there is a disaster of this magnitude, like, you're the governor. I don't know what to tell you. Like, I'm really sorry that your vacation got interrupted, but also I think you might be insane considering your hunting habits, so I don't actually feel bad. But come back. Like, you come back. I don't know. Feels like the bar is pretty low. Okay. And finally, to wrap this up, number 3. Giuliani's son, Giuliani being Rudy Giuliani's son accuses TV network of discrimination for making him take part in New York governor debate virtually because he isn't vaccinated. Here's your question. Did the debate invitation explicitly say that you had to be vaccinated in order to participate in person? Yes or no?
Yes, but it's still discrimination.
Correct. It 100%. Like, the person that commented from the TV network was like, no, he knew the rules. There were rules. We put them in place. He accepted the invitation, by the way. It said it in the invitation, and then he said, oh, here's a rule I don't agree with. I'm going to go. And then got upset when they told him he couldn't come.
It's like he doesn't realize what state he's running for.
It's
this is New York. Like,
it's New York. That's the other thing, All right. That is all I have. This is the end of our No Boys Allowed Monday. Ari, how do you feel?
Great. Welcome back, Emma.
Thank you. To you as well, because I haven't seen you since I've been down and out with the COVID, sadly, tragically. This has been absolutely lovely, and I think that's about it. We are Business
Woohoo!
Pants. That is Ari the Data Queen. I am Emma Lurking. We have absolutely no men in our presence, which is how it should be. I don't know why we don't do this more frequently. Thank you for that little gesture, Ari. It looked like the Black Panther gesture, which was funny. But we will see you tomorrow with more nonsense, and we will have at least one of our men back. See you tomorrow.